Welcome to another episode of Home Workouts. Okay, so me, Marloes and Fred are gonna take you to today's session, starting off with a warm-up for legs and abs, because today's session is gonna be all about legs and abs. It's gonna be a great one. Now, to start off with, we're gonna stand in a very wide stance, but very importantly, we're gonna have the toes pointing straight forward. So we're doing it right now. Now, the idea is this. We're not doing a Cossack squat yet, we're doing a lateral squat, which means basically we're gonna keep our hips underneath the shoulder, and we move with the entire upper body to the side, and we're gonna come right to the other side. Good. Upper body to the side. Move right to the other side. Perfectly done. Those are the lateral squats. You guys can rest there. Now, if you have a certain injury that is not allowing you to do that sideways movement, now Fred's going to show you what to do when you have that injury. That's going to be a staggered stance, good morning, alternating the repetition. So he's going to step back, hinge from the hip, boom, switch the feet. Step back, hinge from the hip. Very good. This is if the knee bending is hurting you. All right, good job, Fred. Now from there, we move on to our second movement that looks very similar to the lateral squats, but it's a Cossack squat. So we just had hips and shoulders aligned, moving from one direction up to the middle, back to the other direction. Now we're going to actually shift and sit onto one foot and then sit onto the other foot. They're both going to start off on the right leg. Nice and slow. Sit there for a second. Then they're going to come up and then they're going to go to the other side. Very good. And they're going to alternate reps. It's going to keep going here. They're going to alternate reps exactly like this. Very nicely done. Now, if we look at an injury option, we just had for the lateral squats, we had that stepping good morning as an injury option. Now, what can be a follow-up movement that perfectly mimics this is going to be a woodpecker. So the same setup, we're going to do alternating. We're going to get that foot, but now we're going to raise that foot off the floor, put it back on the floor. Good job. Now what Fred's trying to do here, at least he's trying to connect his heel to his head. So everything stays in one line, and he's really tilting from that hip with that slight knee bend going on the entire time. You can rest, buddy. You're also alternating the reps there, and this was an option for if you're having an injury on the knee. Now our third movement of the day is a very important and specific one for spine health. It's called a curl up. I need you to go on the floor. Now in the starting position, what's going to be very important here is you're going to have one leg tucked and one leg straight. And the reason for that is very simple. It's going to keep your hips in neutral the entire time. Because if you have both feet on the floor, there's an urge to arch. If you have both feet tucked or both legs tucked, you're going to tilt your hip forward. So I need your hips to stay neutral. From here, you're going to have your arms across. And a very simple thing you do is you're going to curl your shoulder blades off, hold it for a second, come back down. And you're going to do that controlled. Curl off, hold it, and come back down. And you don't have to come higher than just the shoulder blades off the floor. It's a very small range of motion with lots and lots of control. When done properly, you're firing the abdominals right in the middle, right there. Good job. We do that in the actual warm-up for a couple of reps per side. I think it's 6, but I'll explain that to you guys in a second. We have a fourth movement as well, which is also core. We just hit the middle. Now we're going to hit the obliques on the side. So we're going to do a side plank. Let's face the camera to that direction, gentlemen. Feet there. Yeah, let's do it that way. That's perfect. Good. Now we're going to have Marloes doing RX with the legs straight. And I want Fred to scale this down by going on the knees here. Good. Now if you look at the difference, it is only the positioning of the knee, which Fred is on the floor and Marloes is extended. So Marloes is connecting her foot to her shoulder and Fred is connecting his knees to his shoulder. Very nice. This is a side plank which we're going to hold for X amount of seconds on one direction and then X amount of seconds on the other side. We showed you 4 different movements and we're now going to put them into a warm-up. How does it look like? We have 8 minutes of a Quality AMRAP. That's a longer Quality AMRAP here so you can get some more work in. The first 2 movements really look similar, but you're going to start off with 6 alternating lateral squats, which is just 3 reps a side, right? Switching sides every rep. Then you do 6 alternating Cossack squats, which is the deeper sitting one where you are twisting with the torso a bit in that bottom position, which is fine. Then the third movement is going to be the curl up, just for the abs, just right there in the center, keeping your hips nice and square the entire time. 6 reps on each leg. And then you end up with a side plank for 20 seconds a side. Now let's have a look at the entire warm-up starting with you guys at the same time. I have my timer set at 8 minutes. We start in 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Slowly sit, and now your hips and shoulders stay exactly squared, which means the hips stay under the shoulder during the portion of the squat. That's going to help you and pull you into the right position. Make sure you push your knee into the outside of your foot here. After 6 controlled reps, you go into the true Cossack squat, where you actually sit down and rotate yourself all the way in. Here we go. Here we go. Very good. Fred is sitting very nice and deep there with his Cossack squat. And upon completion of 6 reps, we go on the floor, on our back, and we start doing our curl-ups here. So, one leg straight, one leg bended. Yes, exactly. And then we're going to have arms across and only lift the shoulder blades off the floor. So you roll them off, you squeeze your abs for a second there, and you come down. Also, when you come down, make sure you keep your belly engaged. Good job. 6 reps, one leg, 6 on the other. So like I said in the previous shot here when we explained the movements, was keeping your legs one up and one extended helps you keeping your hips squared, which really fires the abdominal muscles correctly. So after 6 and 6, we move into a 20-second side plank. And since you're not going to be able to see the clock, you're going to just count in your head to 20, which is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 20. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 19, 20. All the way up that way. Good job, guys. So Fred is really focusing on knees, hips, and shoulders in line. And Marloes is focusing on the ankle on top of that. Good job, guys. Yeah, you switch whenever you feel like you've done 20 seconds. Very good. So when they finished up this first round, it probably took them about 2 minutes. I want you to aim for 4 quality rounds here of this warm-up, and then we meet again for the mobility. Properly warmed up? Yes? Thumbs up for that. Let's start on the mobility portion of the day. I want you to set your interval timer right now, so you can pause the video if you need to. But you want to have 6 intervals in total. Each interval, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of not rest, but just time to transition from one movement to the other. It's only 2 movements, which means you're going to do 3 rounds of this little couplet in total, right? The first one is a static stretch with added resistance, and the second one is a dynamic mobility exercise. Now, we're going to start it with Marloes and Fred joining you guys on this little mobility portion right away. And what we do is a banded pancake, which means we're going to have the legs stick together. We're going to have a band folded around the feet. I'm going to start in 10 seconds. And the simple thing you do with the band, and if you can grab your toes, you don't even need the band. You're going to literally just pull yourself towards your feet here. 1, 2, 3, we're on for 45 seconds. Now this is a static exercise, so I don't want you to move around. I just want you to sit here. And maybe, specifically when you're not that mobile or flexible, I think flexible is a better word in this case, when you're not so flexible, over time, so over the 45 seconds or over the amount of rounds we do, you want to slowly try to increase range of motion by grabbing another centimeter on the band, Fred. That's a good one to do. Here you go. At home as well. It's a great way of trying to force this. If you have somebody at home, and you don't have to play by the rules of social distancing because it is your partner, you can also push each other slightly into the stretch. Very good. 5 more seconds. And then relax. 3, 2, 1. Get out of it easily. Good. Ditch the band. We twist over. And we're going to do a downward dog into Cobra. I need you guys already set it up so at home you can see us. We're going to start here in a downward dog. You can place your feet about a hip width stance. You push your butt to the ceiling. We're going to hold it here for a second. At home, I'll talk you guys through. We stay here with our butt to the ceiling. We try to drive our heels into the floor, press through the arms into the shoulder. And now we pull ourselves down with the chest to the floor, touching the floor, rolling over, pressing our butt into the floor, squeezing our butt, driving our head chest up, holding this for 1, 2, 3, and doing the reverse. So chest to the floor, roll over, push your butt into the ceiling. Here we go, 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 boom, and hold that downward dog. That is nice. 1, 2, 3, let's come back down. Let's hold it for 1, 2, 3. Let's go back up. Very nice. 1, 2, 3. Come back down. And then you wait for the beep. Nice. So that was 1 round. I need you guys to do 2 more rounds on your own. See you back in a second. By now, you should feel pretty warmed up and ready to hit the intensity portion of today's session. We're going to take you through 4 movements. And then after that, I'll explain the concept of the workout. Even if you have injuries, make sure you stick around because we show you all the options necessary to join on this workout. Now, for the first one, we're going to start off with our classic speed skater. We're going to start off like we're going to start on the speed skater, basically. Then we jump to the right. We go right back to the left, and I'm not going to talk them through here. I just want them to move. And while they're moving, the idea is this. You always stay in an angle of the knee that is bent. Always. We never go to extension. Maybe when we jump, obviously. But we try to stay as low as we possibly can. The hips are always flexed here. Very nice speed skater. You guys can rest. We try to aim for range of motion with the speed skater. Don't stay in spot. Just doing this really gets some range of motion. Maybe draw 2 lines in the floor that allow you to really jump from one position to the other and keep that hip flexion throughout the movement. Now, Fred is going to show you what to do if you either live in an apartment building. In that case, you can do the stepping speed skater. Can you do the stepping speed skater for me? So apartment building option, still staying as low as possible. It's kind of like that lateral squat, but then taking both legs with it. Great option. Now, if there's an injury with the knee, in that case, you're going to do a cross mountain climber today. Reason we're doing it, can you keep going, Fred, for me, please? The reason we're doing an ab exercise here is the workout we have to program for tomorrow has lots and lots of hamstrings, glutes, and lower back, so we don't want to tax that too much here. Great cross mountain climbers, let's rest. Every rep you do in the cross mountain climber, we also count as a repetition in the speed skater. So the equal amount of reps are done there. Now, our second movement is a straight leg sit-up. So let's go sit on the floor. And instead of sitting, we're going to have the legs nice and straight. We're going to lean back and we're going to we reach behind us, we reach forward. We either touch the toes or something close to the toes, and we call that a good repetition. Very nice straight leg sit-ups. If you feel this is very hard for you to do, you can always anchor your feet by wrapping your feet around something that is on the floor. That's not that. So let's imagine a paw. Can you do it for the paw, for example? While we're doing it anyways here. You can always grab onto something that is in your house, maybe the couch or whatever, and then you make your sit-ups there. That makes it a tiny bit easier. A great way of scaling the exercise. Now, let's move on to our third movement here. And our third movement is what? It's another leg exercise. It's the back step lunge. So we start with the right leg going backwards. So let's start with the right leg going back. Gently touch the floor, come back up. You guys do a couple of reps for me, please. So with the back step lunge, it is the safest of the lunge options for the knee. Now why is that? Because the front foot, the working one, stays in spot and the knee stays right on top of the ankle. So there's less traveling of the knee forward. So it's last tax there. It's a great way. Even if you have knee injury, you might want to try this one out and it might feel really very, very good for you. Now, if you do have knee injury that's not allowing you to do these back step lunges, in that case, we're going to do an exercise that looks very similar to an alternating leg lift in a plank, but we're going to do it slightly different. So Fred is going to stand here in his plank. He's going to take his right leg up, bend it. He's going to kick up to the ceiling and come back down and keep that leg bent the entire time. Boom. 1, 2. Squeeze his butt to get his leg up. Nice, solid. Let's call it the scorpion. Try to kick your head with your heel movement. That's a great name for this movement. Now, normally in the workout, we have alternating back step lunges, for example, 30 reps. In that case, you do 15 reps of the scorpion. Try to kick your head with your heel movement for one side, and then the same amount of repetitions on the other side. Let's have a look at our fourth and final movement of today's intense workout. You're going to be on the floor. We're going to do a tuck up. I need you guys immediately to do a set for me where you see the difference between Marloes's variation and Fred's variation here. Let's go, guys. So Fred has his feet forward, just like Marloes, but he has his arms reached forward, which is easier because he's more connected to the middle. Marloes has her arms behind her, starting in a hollow, which is tougher in all honesty. Great job, guys. Now, as a last thing to say about these 4 movements, about the 2 ab movements we have, so the straight leg sit up and the tuck ups. If you have lower back issues and you feel it's playing a role here, it's playing you apart, you can't do the movements, I need you to do that movement, but then just hold the end position. So hold the end position of the straight leg sit up with your shoulder blades off the floor. Hold the end position of the connected tuck up so you stay in that connected position. And how long you do that, just do the amount of seconds as the repetitions prescribed in the workout. We showed you all 4 of the movements, and yes, also tons of scaling options to make sure you'll remember the right movement for you. The order was going to be speed skater, 30 reps. Straight leg sit up, 15 reps. Back step lunge, 30 reps. And then finally the tuck up for 15 reps. That is one round. We're going to have a 12-minute timer running. And you keep doing that round as often as you can. If you can't complete a round in the end, you do as many repetitions that are left to complete 12 minutes of work here. We call that an AMRAP. If they are ready, you are ready, then we start. All right, 10 seconds. Make sure in the speed skater, guys, we stay low. It's about range of motion, not about speed. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Good. So if we stay low, we're aiming for a quad pump here. And now it's very easy here to get caught up in the tempo and doing this very, very quickly and getting very small steps in. But rather have you do 1.5 meters per jump than just 40 centimeters per jump and then looking at me like, hey man, I'm already done. That does not make me very happy. It's probably approximately a rep per second, and I can see that the quads are starting to lit up here. That's good. Yeah, it was exactly a rep per second, right? So 30 seconds in, you can go to the floor and we do straight leg sit-ups for 15 reps. Yes. Here you go. So abs and quads combined is always going to be a nasty combination. So nice 15 reps worth of starting on here. Now both Marloes and Fred know that 12 minutes of high repetition movements is going to feel very taxing, specifically when you hit round number 2. So they're going a bit easy on the tempo here. And if you look at the movements we have, the movements are very hard to speed up. You can't really speed up the straight leg sit-ups. Same as the speed skater, same as the backstep lunge. So probably the thing you want to do here is try to eliminate the transition time and go right from one movement into the next and use the movements to just stay in your zone and keep that pace going. Backstep lunge, another great one to build strong quads and strong glutes. Alternate the legs, Freddy. 30 reps alternating, yes. So when we alternate the legs, people at home as well, we do 30 reps in total. That means we end up with 15 per leg. Please do not do 30 reps per leg. Otherwise, that will be the only thing you do in this workout. If you have painful knees, you can always place something soft underneath your knees, or you just try to stay above a centimeter above the floor. Great job. 30 reps of the back step lunge, and after 30, we do what? We move on to the tuck-ups for another set of 15 repetitions there. We're 2 minutes down in a 12-minute workout. Very good, guys. Let's go. Boom. And when we do the tuck-ups, it's a very nasty one after the straight leg sit-ups. We already taxed the abs properly, which makes this even harder than it normally is. And again, if you start to feel that you're losing the balance in the tuck-up, you can always take a quick break before moving on and finishing off the set. They're doing very good here. Nice. Upon completion, you just start your next round, right? Always start the next round, yeah. So, hey, it's 12 minutes in total. We just did a good 2.5 minutes. I hope we end up with 5 rounds. You guys keep going. Good luck. See you next time.